Hi there. It's February the 26th, and in today's readings in the Torah, we reach Leviticus chapters 19 and 20. Chapter 20 is actually about prohibitions on sexual relations which are not going to fulfill God's original plan for man and woman to reproduce, and those which may interfere with it in bringing two relatives too close together, for example. But going back to chapter 19 is really an unpacking of more of the original directions and instructions that God gave back in Exodus 20. In particular, in the midst of Exodus 19, there's an instruction in verses 9 and 10 not to harvest the fields right to the edges, but to leave some for the poor. Later on, we'll find in the book of Ruth that Ruth benefits from this law by being able to what's called glean in the fields. And the reason she's able to glean as a poor person looking for food, the reason she's able to glean what's left over is because this law in Leviticus 19, 9 and 10 specifically allows for there to be leftovers in the fields for poor people. In fact, further on, in verse 18 of Leviticus 19, comes the second great commandment, the one that Jesus says is equal to the one, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul and mind, the commandment to love your neighbour as yourself. It says you should not do any harm, you'll not show any grudge towards a fellow Israelite, you are to love your fellow as yourself, you're to love your neighbour as yourself. This, of course, finds its way into Jesus' teaching because it's part of the heart of God that we should love our neighbours as ourselves. Have a good February the 26th.